Well, there's I think one of the interesting things about all these new product offering within Expedition is that Expedition cruising used to be a lot more expensive before. I think. I don't know, Lori. What do you think? I don't know if this is just perception, but I think that there is as it starts becoming a little bit more mainstream, which I don't think it'll ever get to be mainstream, but as it becomes a little bit more popular, I guess, we start seeing more competitive pricing out there for luxury expedition. What's your take on that, Lori?
Yeah, definitely. And those two words were not ever really used together as of what, 5 or 6 years ago. Like expedition was not luxury. That was, kind of the takeaway from that. But now that we're seeing all these other products coming out, yes, I mean, I think there's definitely competitive rates out there.
Cool. I'm excited because I know that our guests and people that that are going to be joining us today are very curious to know not only in general about Expedition, but also obviously Swan being a new player in the American market. So very much looking forward to today.
Yes, and we did, with all odds against us, with COVID and supply chain and everything else, we did manage to have a successful Antarctic season this past season. So we're very happy we pulled it off. We had very, very good feedback as well. Good.
That's good. And your Arctic season already started, right?
So we've had actually the Minerva, who's in Antarctica, was going to come up and do the Arctic. But what happened is our second ship is coming out of the shipyard early. So we decided to send her to do the Arctic season. That's why I said it's an amazing, the timing of this is amazing. It's like literally just today, we did that in a press release. And we have like rates that are like 70% off, of course, because they just opened for sale like today. So there's lots of, availability and some amazing pricing to go to the Arctic this summer.
And what are you going to do with the Minerva? Where are you going to place it?
So Minerva's going to just stay down she's actually off the coast of Montevideo, and she's just going to stay there and start the Antarctic season in October. And then the Vega will be down there too. So we'll have, 2 sister ships in Antarctica come this fall.
Okay.
So, yep.
All right. Interesting.
And then our third ship will be out in the beginning of the first quarter of 2023. And she'll be doing some, some different things, like she'll be doing the Middle East and some Med and the East Coast of Africa. So, really becoming like a global cruise line.
Good. Okay, so we're gonna get started very soon. We're gonna let more people join, and then we'll get started.
I see Roger on there. Hi, Roger. It's a long time.
Hey, Lori. How are you?
Good. And yourself?
I'm good. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Good.
I didn't realize. I thought you were still at MSC. I don't know much about updates and stuff, but that's all.
No, awesome. No, not anymore.
Awesome. It's good to see you, though. Really nice.
You too.
Oh, thanks for holding. I'm here.
Okay, so we're gonna let it's 2:56. We're gonna give our guests a few more minutes to join, and then we'll get started.
Okay. So I'm actually leaving for Europe on Sunday, and I'm a little bit nervous with coming back, having to get tested before coming back here. I was just like hoping, fingers crossed, they were going to get rid of that.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of rumors that that's going to happen very soon.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah, certainly. We'll see.
Yeah, they dropped all the, I don't need tests now. Like I'm flying into Venice, and I don't need a test anymore to fly into Italy. So that's great.
That's good. I just came back from the onward inaugural.
Oh, okay.
So just had to go through all that, testing and whatever. It wasn't that bad.
Did anyone end up in quarantine, or you don't know?
No, it was okay. Everything was okay.
Good.
So, all right, so 2:58.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay. You're
Nice to
looking
see
great.
you. Oh, thank you.
I like the wall behind you. You
Well,
definitely know where you're
it's
from.
not really.
No, I know. Because
I'm not really in the snow.
yeah, I was going to say you would have you'd be wearing a jacket. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm almost an empty nester. I can't believe it.
Oh, that can be good though.
That's good. It's interesting for sure.
Okay. I want to just welcome one of my guests. Hi, Brian. How you doing over there?
Hey, Steve, how are we doing today?
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
You're going to find Swan Hellenic very interesting. So any questions, don't hesitate to ask, okay?
Definitely will do.
Okay, and I should be getting your reservation up for you too.
Cool.
Okay. We'll let them go back to the to the webinar.
Okay.
Okay, so we're starting to get some more people joining. I'm going to start welcoming our guest today officially. Welcome to our Swan Hellenic Q&A event. Very excited to have you all here. Thank you very much for joining us today. We have a mix of luxury cruise connections advisors and guests in this event today. And I want you all to know that we are extremely grateful for spending some time with us today. We want to do this often enough so that we can share latest updates in general about the cruise industry, but also new cruise lines or new brands or new opportunities or new exciting itineraries and experiences that I know you all enjoy, and I very much look forward to trying out, hopefully in the future. So what's going to happen today is we have a short presentation from Lori Scheller, and we're going to let you introduce yourself in just a minute. She's with Swan Hellenic. She is our bridge between Swan and Luxury Cruise Connections. She's the one that helps us make sure that our clients get those special perks and special treatment. And what you're going to see today is, again, it's going to be a short presentation on Swan Hellenic, and then we're going to open up for some questions at the end. It's Swan Hellenic, for those that probably have never heard of it before. And I'm going to let obviously Dory do the full explanation on this, but is a relatively new to the United States or reborn brand of expedition cruising. And we've been in several conversations with Swan since they've launched in the United States, and we obviously they haven't approached the U.S. market for all that long, but I've had an opportunity to had several conversations with Lori and the executive team at Swan Hellenic, and believe they are going to be an incredible player in the luxury expedition market. And so that's why they're here with us today, because I want to make sure you all have an opportunity to hear from Lori what Swan is all about, and hopefully we can get you interested in going on an expedition experience such as the one that Swan has to offer. So what's going to happen today is more people are going to continue to chime in throughout the next couple of minutes. Please feel free to use the chat box at the bottom of your screen to ask questions while the presentation is going on. So I just typed hello. That way you see where to do that. We're also going to be posting some polls throughout the conversation so that we can kind of get to understand a little bit of the audience, what you like, what you don't like, if you've been on expedition or not before, like exactly like that, so that we can get to know a little bit more about you. And then some of those answers, obviously, we'll be happy to share with you. So, and then at the end, we're going to open up for questions and answers. I will make sure to go through every single one of those questions. Make sure I don't leave any of those questions out. Make sure to cover every single one of them. So, without further ado, Lori, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and we shall get started. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Carlos, and thank you for putting this together for Swan Hellenic, and thank you everyone for taking the time to learn more about this product. We did actually have, I had mentioned a little earlier, but we did manage to have our first Antarctic season this past year against the odds because of COVID and Omicron variants and supply chain, but feedback was very good. So we got in about 5 sailings this past winter. So I will do this presentation. I'll try to keep it pretty quick, and then I will answer any of your questions.
Lori, before you get started,
yeah.
I want to, again, as we have more people join us, I want to welcome all of you that are joining us today. Many of you are existing Luxury Cruise Connections guests. Many of you are about to become Luxury Cruise Connections guests. So I very much appreciate your presence here. Some of you guests will recognize some of our Luxury Cruise Connections advisors that are here in today's event. Thank you for joining us and giving us the opportunity to share some time with you and let you know, and share with you what we are about, what our relationship with Swan Hellenic is about, and what Swan Hellenic is about, of course, as well. So, results from our last poll: 69% of you have been on an expedition. 71% of you have been on an expedition cruise before. Great.
Wow.
So we have 28% of you that we got to convince. So that's good. All right, good stuff. Lori, take it away.
Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay. Everyone can see my screen? Hold on. Okay. So Swan Hellenic, our tagline is "See what others don't." And some of you might have kind of remember hearing Swan Hellenic in the past, and that's because Swan Hellenic was actually formed. The original Swan Hellenic was formed back in the 50s, post World War II, and they're really the pioneers in cultural expedition cruises. And at the time, they visited the antiquities of Greece and Turkey at a time when really no one else had. And through the years, it changed hands a few times and then eventually did go out of business. So what I'm showing you today is the brand new Swan Hellenic. So we have brand new ships, we have brand new leadership, but we're still embracing that Swan Hellenic cultural expedition cruises. So we have 9 offices today, and we will have 3 brand new expedition ships. One is the Minerva. She launched in December of 2021. The second one, Vega, who's a sister ship with 152 passengers, is launching in July. And then a third one, the Diana, will be coming out in early 2023, slightly larger with 198 passengers. And we do visit, when all the ships are out, we will be visiting all 7 continents. So our mission is enriching curious minds through unique expeditions. Our values are passion, elegance, sophistication, respecting the environment, personal well-being, authentic and pioneering, expertise from 70 years of operational delivery, and unrivaled personalized service. So this is an actual picture of the Minerva in her Antarctic season this year. And she was designed a premium cruise experience worldwide with a strong bias for extreme latitude areas, remote places of our planet without compromising the unaccustomed level of comfort and service. modern, sophisticated design and elegant, Scandi chic interiors, and an atmosphere of cozy art boutique hotel on board. And this is a picture of the Minerva in Antarctica this past season. And this is just an overall ship layout. You can see that top deck there. We use that for stargazing at night. You can see where the zodiacs are positioned on the back. And then even in the very front of the ship, you can see that you can actually walk up there. We call that the Swan's nest. So passengers can go up there and get the views from the very front of the ship. And the specification, as I mentioned, she's 152 passengers, and the crew is 120. So it's a really good crew to guest ratio. So there's 13 Zodiac boats and 2 lifeboats. And we are a PC5 rated. So PC5 is a polar class rating, and PC5 is, you know, one of the highest ratings there is for polar class ships. And I'm just going to go over all the different areas of the ship. So this is base camp, which this is where when you're on a polar expedition, you're going to store your parka, store your boots, and any of your other equipment that you're going to take with you on these expeditions. And you will have an assigned locker. So every day, you know, you don't have to bring your boots and your coat and everything else up and back to your cabin. You basically come here, get your gear on, we have refreshments, and then you go out on your expeditions. And you usually do that twice a day in the polar destinations. And then we do have a main restaurant, which seats everyone. Of course, it's open seating. We do have regional cuisine when available. And this is a picture of the Swan restaurant. Here's another one here. And so we are also able to offer, like, if anyone has, you know, gluten-free or vegan diets or anything like that, we definitely are able to accommodate that. The Club Lounge, this is a place, you know, it's for many purposes. People want to play cards here, or if someone doesn't really want to go to the dining room per se to sit down and have dinner, this is somewhere you can serve like light tapas, pizzas, drinks, if you don't want to go to the dining room. And this is a picture of the Club Lounge. And then we also have the pool bar and grill, which, weather permitting, you know, we will do barbecues outside. And again, it's a grill, you know, you get different types of meats and burgers and things like that. And the last sailing, it was incredibly sunny, so they ate out here quite a bit. And the observation lounge, this is where you really be spending a lot of time. So on board all of our ships, we include a lecture program, and these lecturers are you know, very versed, very specialized in the destination where we are going. So it's not that the same lecture, you know, sails for 6 months. They're very hand-picked for that destination, whether it's, you know, has to do, like we had, you know, archaeologists on board, some of them, you know, scientists, a lot of people come from academia that are lecturers on board. And this is also where you will be prepared for your expedition for the next day. So basically, you'll go on the expedition, you get your briefing the night before, and then after, at the end of the day, before dinner, you get another briefing of kind of like what we saw and then what we'll do again the next day. And this is also where at nighttime we have a light entertainment, piano, sometimes a singer. We have some tango dancers at one point in Ushuaia. So this is really kind of your evening place as well. And then this is live from the ship this past season, and this was one of our expedition team members giving the briefing. And then this is sauna, which I think is absolutely amazing. And you'll notice on the ship, there's just tons of, like, because it's so destination driven, like there's just tons of open space and, you know, availability to really be immersed in the destination. And then we do have a gym on board. And when you consider the size of the ship, it is pretty sizable. Like the gym, we have treadmills, we have free weights, we have ellipticals on board. And some of our voyages are up to 32 days. So people want to stay fit. And then we do have a full service spa and beauty salon, which, you know, offers all of the traditional massages and, you know, haircuts and everything else you need on a ship. And this is our library. And then this is our citizen science lab, which we're working with an organization called the Polar Collective. And, you know, there's different types of scientific things that they're doing on the ship here. And it's we want to immerse the passengers in this too, the guests, into the citizen science lab. And then we also have, I know this isn't a beautiful picture, but I think it's a really nice feature that we have a complimentary self-serve laundrette on the ship. Because, you're dressing in many, many layers, and, it's nice that you don't have to, pack for 15 days, all clothes. You can come down here and wash them. And then our staterooms are very well appointed. We have pillow menus, bathrobes, slippers. Every stateroom has a mini bar. It has a coffee maker. And this is our ocean view stateroom. There's 16 ocean views, so it's primarily balconies of ship, but there are 16 ocean views. The ocean view staterooms are 200 square feet. And if you see that fireplace feature, that is in every single stateroom. It is an electric fireplace, but it does actually, have some video with it as well. So it really does put out heat. People really have enjoyed that in the polar destinations. And then this is the balcony, which is the majority of our staterooms, and they're about 300 square feet, including the balcony. And then we do offer suites on the ship, and they're from 450 to 525 square feet. And again, they have all of the amenities, and the balconies, of course, are larger on the suites. And then this is, where do we go? So basically, we are in the polar regions in the summer, the Arctic in the summer, and then Antarctica in the winter. And then in between that, we've really kind of traversed the globe. For example, next season, when we leave Antarctica, one of our ships will be going to New Zealand and doing a journey, then go around doing New Zealand in depth and go to Japan. And there's some later on down the line going to the Philippines and different places in Asia. And then our other ship will be going from Antarctica to Cape Town, Africa, and making our way up the west coast of Africa. So there's really a lot of unique destinations that we visit. And, it is expedition, even if it's like there's warm weather expedition, and then there's obviously the cold weather expedition, the parkas. So what's included? So we're really all inclusive. We include a pre-hotel night for everyone, a 4 or 5 star hotel. We include all of the transfers, of course, onboard accommodation, all of your food, the room service, coffee, tea, soft drinks, alcoholic beverages, and it's really, it's most of your alcoholic beverages. Of course, if you want something that's like super high shelf, or like a special bottle of wine or a high-end champagne or something, you can do that. It would be an additional cost. Our lecture program, our Wi-Fi, all the gratuities and port taxes, and of course the expedition team, the shore excursions. So for the transfers in a hotel, it really works out. It's really great. Like, for example, when we do Antarctica, and this is on every single one of our Antarctica voyages, the guests will fly into Buenos Aires, and we will pick them up at the airport, take them to the hotel. We'll have a hospitality desk at the hotel. Then the next morning, there's a breakfast, and then we transfer to the airport. We include the flight from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia. Once you get to Ushuaia, we take you on board the ship. And then once you disembark in Ushuaia, it's the same process. So we'll take you to the airport in Ushuaia and fly you to Buenos Aires. So really, as a guest, you just need to get to Buenos Aires. And we do offer air, we do have an air department that we could book your air as well. And it really gives that pre-hotel night really gives us the opportunity to really get to know some of the team members from Swan Hellenic, and then the fellow guests that you'll be sailing with, because at 152 passengers, I mean, you definitely have a lot of interaction with these other guests. So I just went over this for Antarctica, that we include, like, so even in the warm weather destinations where they're not really, you don't want to say expeditions with zodiacs, but every single day, no matter where we are, we're going to include, either an expedition or a shore excursion type. Like, for example, this summer, some of our cruises are doing Iceland, where it's not necessarily that you're going out on zodiacs, but you will definitely have some type of daytime shore excursion in every single port of call. And then in the polar ports of call, You also will get a parka that you can take home. There's a waterproof backpack, and the flights are included for our Antarctica journeys between Ushuaia and Buenos Aires. And then, of course, there are optional extras that you can purchase, including, airfare, which I mentioned, the spa packages, anything in the retail store. We do offer, if you want it like a private Zodiac excursion, that will be available on board if you would like to do that. And then, of course, if you want any additional hotel nights, we can accommodate the hotel nights, but it is an additional cost. And then just what to expect on the ship. I mean, I showed you the gym, the sauna, the lectures. And then we also have, which I forgot to mention, a photography lab. So the photography lab is manned by someone who's actually on our expedition team. So the photographer is going ashore with you, and they will help you. A lot of people are, photographers or even a hobbyist photographer. Like, he's there with you to help you, take your pictures, and he's taking pictures and video of the whole voyage. He does drone footage. And actually, at the end of your voyage, you will get a custom video from that particular voyage. And then also like a memory, it's a logbook that has photos of where you were, maps where you were, what you saw on the ship. So it's really a great keepsake, and that's all included in our price. And then this is just a sample of like an expedition cruise day where, we go into port and they'll go out, the expedition team will go out scouting, because depending on the weather, depending where we are, to see where we're going to be landing that day. But, all the guests are going to be on board having breakfast while they figure that out. And then we'll go do whatever that expedition is in the morning, and then come back, and then you'll have the lecture in the afternoon, and then go out again, have lunch, go out again, and then you'll have a recap of what you did and a briefing for the following day, dinner and light entertainment, and then weather permitting, stargazing or wildlife. And this is just a picture. This is an actual photo. That is the parka that you get to take home with you. And this is a really nice picture. And we also provide the equipment you need, for walking, the poles, and that's with the ship in the background there in Antarctica. And I was just saying, this is like amazing timing that we're doing this today, because our ship, the Vega, which is a sister to the Minerva, like absolutely identical, is coming out of the shipyard early. And so she is going to be doing the Arctic season this year, starting July 20th. And we just put a press release out today that we have this just incredible promotion. They're 70% off the fares, the brochure fares, which I think the starting price is $38.50, which I will promise you will never see again, or I hope that you never see again. And this is, I think Carlos we talked to you, but for this, specifically for guests of Luxury Cruise Connection, and just for 2 weeks, that we're actually going to offer an additional 5% savings off of any of our fares that are already drastically reduced. So Arctic, we do a round trip Tromsø, which is really you're deep into the Svalbard. We do a Tromsø Iceland, so you get to see Svalbard, and then you get to see a little bit of Iceland. We do Iceland to Greenland, and then a round trip Greenland, really to get off the beaten path there. So that is, the rates, like I said, are really amazing for this promotion. And the rates that you see, like on our website, like we don't have any additional taxes, like that's it. Everything that I said is included in that price. So we also go for the Arctic, we do like the Canadian Arctic and Canadian Arctic and Greenland, and then we actually make our way to Halifax, Nova Scotia. So there's quite a few different itineraries available for the Arctic. And then also our Antarctica season. So we actually extended this offer through May 31st, and we have 19 departures between the two sister ships, and they include things like your classic Antarctica Peninsula, which is, it's 9 nights sailing plus a night in Buenos Aires, so it's 10 nights altogether. with prices starting from 87, 85. And remember that includes your, well, and 5% discount on top of it, and that includes your flight from Buenos Aires, your hotel, and everything I mentioned before. And then we also have sailings up to 30 days where we go from Antarctica, and that's the repositioning, to New Zealand. And then we have some more Antarctica in depth, which is, you know, going down to South Georgia and Falkland Islands. So we've, from 9 days to 32 days, we have quite a selection of Antarctica for this coming season. Sustainability, I mean, we take this very seriously, not just from, you know, like we want to, as Swan Hellenic, we want to make sure that we are not, you know, leaving a footprint and leaving everything the way it was found, but also our guests as well, and the crew member and guests. And I think you'll learn a lot when you're cruising, especially to Antarctica, just about kind of what's happening there with you know, the changing weather patterns and everything else. But we do have battery backups, you know, where we can go for, you know, a really long time without having the engine. And then just, you know, single-use plastics, and we don't have that. And we do water bottles, but, you know, there's a whole, like, you know, specific things, but the ship was really built with this in mind. And then just, you know, why book with Swan Hellenic? I mean, the ships, as you saw them, they're absolutely spectacular. Everyone was very impressed, the guests in Antarctica. Some of the feedback was just how incredibly spacious the rooms were. And also, it really, you could really see it in the reviews and things, the feedback, that everyone really was close and interactive with each other. And that comes from, like, the crew members on board, the expedition teams, the guests amongst themselves. I mean, it's very, even though it's a luxury product, it's, you know, a very casual, intimate atmosphere where people, you know, are happy to, like, to get to know each other, and they open up to each other. And it's on board, it's casual dress. I mean, you could wear jeans, it's fine. So they're the reasons, and enriching cultural expeditions around the world, including unique destinations. So I know that a lot of these places are on people's bucket lists, and I would really encourage you, if you have Antarctica on that list, to get there, because we don't know what it's going to look like there in the years to come. And particularly now with the amazing rate and special deal that Carlos is able to offer you, it would be a great time to cross it off your list. So that's really all I had.
So Lori, thank you very, very much. You know, obviously we're talking about those great, you know, that great offer of 70% and that 5%. And can you give us some idea of pricing? Can you give us some, like, and I know that it varies by itinerary and by date and so forth, but can you just kind of help us understand what are we talking about here?
Okay, so for example, so our like our Iceland circumnavigation is like the lead rate in the Arctic, and that leaves August 10th, and it's 7 nights plus 1 night in Reykjavik, and that is $38.50 per person, you know, all inclusive. The starting rate for that. Our Antarctica, the shortest sailing, which is just our, you know, classic Antarctica, is 9 nights plus 1 night in Buenos Aires, plus all the flights and everything else, and it's $88.75 a person. Of course, then less 5% for you guys for 2 weeks. And so, I mean, generally, when you look at these polar regions, the prices are usually, you know, $1,000 to $1,200 per person per day as the lead-in rate. So, you know, there are definitely, you know, some nice savings out there right now. And for 22, 23, you have to remember that there were a lot of cancellations of a lot of Antarctica sailings even last year, but of course for the 1920 season, 2021 season, 21-22. So really for next year, a lot of those people who haven't been able to go the last 2 to 3 years are really, you know, like there's other sailings that are totally sold out right now for 22, 23. So I think we have an advantage. I mean, we're a new brand, but I think, you know, considering the demand for that product itself.
I mean, those are extremely strong prices. I mean, that circumnavigation Iceland for $38.50,
less the 5%, about 37.
that is insanely low. That is insanely low. Now, obviously, I want to make sure that we all understand here. I know that $3,800 is not, it's not peanuts, but considering the fact that you have, this is a very upscale experience that you're getting here, basically all inclusive. That's really, really strong. I mean, a comparable experience is twice as much or more.
Right. I mean, I sometimes compare it. I mean, even to take my family anywhere, like you're spending at restaurants, so prices have gone up.
No.
I mean, this
Especially
really is. I mean,
it's a very expensive destination.
Right. And then also all of your, I just saw a question here, and I actually have really good news for you.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna get.
So no. Oh, you are going to get them? Okay, that's fine. But anyway, our Arctic single supplements waive. So actually, if you're single and you're going to the Arctic this year, just go. And our standard is 1.5% for a single. But we do have Antarctica, it's a limited amount of cabins on every Antarctica sailing, which we're going to have 1.25% for single supplement.
Okay, that is indeed quite strong. So I want to hear your questions, or I want to see your questions in the chat. We can also, obviously, what I'd like to do is also engage with you guys that are at home. Let me do this. Let me put Cynthia on the spot there for a second. Cynthia, how you doing? You're gonna unmute yourself. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
How are you, Cynthia?
I'm doing fine.
Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. Let me literally put you on the spot.
That's okay.
There you go. So Cynthia, what did you think of Swan? What are your thoughts?
Oh, well, this would be a dream voyage for me. Certainly I'd love to do it. Don't know if I can afford it, but maybe there is some way I could do it, but I don't know yet. I'm still working to pay for that before I have to take out my savings. But yeah, and probably I would be interested in the single one because I know I couldn't afford for two, and I do pay for my husband's, and he's doesn't have the savings that I do. So, so anyways, that would probably be a single thing that I would certainly think about. And there's certainly exciting. I would love to do the Iceland one and the Antarctic. And you've got a great ship.
Well, where are you located? Where do you live?
I live in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Oh, okay. So I'm just so you know, like I went last summer to Iceland, and it's it's only a 5-hour flight from New York. It's really amazing, and there's so much. I mean, I don't even remember how much we paid, but it was incredibly reasonable to fly there, and very short distance.
Well, it certainly is a wonderful opportunity, and it sounds like you've got everything planned for that somebody would want. But I'm sure you want to talk to some other people too.
Okay, I'll get you off the spotlight.
Okay.
I know, Cynthia. I know that you've been working with Mike Falcon here in our office.
I was going to say hi, Mike. I saw you up there.
So yeah, he'll be happy to.
Hi, Dr. Todd.
How you doing? We'll see you. Talk to you tomorrow.
Yep.
Planning some trips for me next year to Tahiti and for diving. Yeah.
That's it. All right. So let me let you free. I'm sorry to putting you on the spot like that. Okay. Let me see. Mr. Ning Chang, how are you?
Oh, very good.
How are you today?
Pretty good.
Thank you for joining us today. You've been with us in several of these events. I want to hear your thoughts on Swan Hellenic.
Sounds exciting. Different.
So, different, right? Have you ever been on an expedition cruise?
No.
You have not. Is it interesting to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, one of the interesting things, and we have Lori here for this, is you know, a lot of times, many of our guests join these events because they want to feel comfortable, especially when it's a new brand. Nick, Mr. Chang, do you have any questions for Lori in terms of the brand itself? Is there anything that you'd want to know beyond what she's already explained that you feel that we have to share with the rest of our audience today, so that we can make sure everybody feels comfortable with the brand?
Maybe to see some of this itinerary, to see what's the program. So
Okay.
That's a really good point. Lori, do you by any chance have something handy that you can show us in terms of example itineraries that you're running?
Yep. Let me just let me find something. Just give me a minute, and I'll pull it up, and I'll share my screen.
Thank you, Mr. Chang, by the way.
okay,
All right. Okay. Oh, Carlos, it says you disabled my screen share.
A second. Can we, there you go. Go for it, Lori.
Okay. So, I mean, this is just for an example, and I do have this, you know, because Arctic kind of just came out. It's one is coming, but like this is, you know, Antarctica, where you can see like there's different itineraries and where we go. Ushuaia to Cape Town, and that's really interesting too. Or Ushuaia from Dunedin, like you see here, like you go all the way down here around the Antarctic Peninsula and all these islands that like hardly anyone has ever been to. Yeah, that's really about it. So that's I have an Antarctica piece in depth, but everything can be found. I mean, we keep our website up to date, and we've kind of gotten away from doing a lot of print with the amount of itineraries that have changed. And you know, whether it's the war or COVID, we were supposed to go to the Russian Far East, and we had to change that. So really, I would encourage, you know, really to look at the website for everything I've updated. But like I said, the Arctic is, you know, it's doing the Tromsø, which is Svalbard, and then
that Iceland circumnavigation itinerary there, by any chance?
yeah, I can just pull it up real quick.
Because that's to me, you know, obviously, I for example, in my case, right? I mean, there's people that obviously want to visit the Arctic, and that's, you know, that's all that they want. But I love the idea of circumnavigating Iceland, because you get a little bit of, or you get a lot of that actual Iceland experience, which is not just a whole bunch of ice,
Right.
and then you get a little bit of ice.
So yeah, I mean, I just have our website up here. So if you look at this, you know, here you can see the Iceland, and you can, you know, pull out, you can see the map and exactly where we go there. And then the day by day, we go into the trip details, and it has, you know, kind of a highlight of what you're going to see here, which I can tell you, if you haven't been to Iceland, it's incredible. I went there last summer. It was just one of my favorite places in the world. And then it goes by every single day in here, and kind of the highlights. So, and then another one, which is really interesting as well, is the Greenland one. So this is the Greenland and Canadian Arctic. I mean, they're just really off the beaten path places, and you know where.
So imagine.
So you go look at this, like your Greenland, and then all to this, you know, places up in Canada that, you know, you really can't access unless you are on an expedition ship.
No, that is fantastic. Like,
Just don't ask me to pronounce all these places.
Don't have to do what?
To pronounce all these places.
Oh no, no, I get it. What's the starting price for an itinerary such as this one?
This one's $7,200 and it's 16
for
nights
17
plus 1 night hotel. And the ones that leave from Kangerlussuaq actually include the flight from Reykjavik to Kangerlussuaq. So you just need to get to Iceland and then we fly you over there. So your pre-hotel is in Reykjavik and then we fly you to Kangerlussuaq.
So your expectation is that 70% discount is going to go away when?
It's June 20th.
June 20th. You feel at least it's going to go up at least a good 20% by after June, I would imagine.
I would hope so. I mean, it's like I said, we just launched it and we're getting a lot of demand for these products, particularly the ones going to Iceland and then the round trip Tromsø.
Okay, so
but you know, and the other thing though, you really need to think about if you're thinking about maybe doing this. I mean, 5% off on this type of price point is a significant savings. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, it could be $1,000 savings. So.
yeah, and that's only for the next 2 weeks, right? That's
Yes.
the incentive that we're giving everybody to hopefully give us an opportunity with Swan Hellenic in the next 2 weeks. And
Right.
Lori,
Yes.
in comparison with other expedition cruise lines, okay, where do you stand in terms of level of expedition immersion? Where do you stand in terms of level of luxury, amenities? How do you compare with other expedition cruise lines?
So a lot of people ask this, and I think that, you know, there's a lot of great brand new hardware coming out there, you know, and it's not, you know, this, you know, we are exactly this and they are that. I mean, there's a lot of similarities through all of it. Some of the expedition lines are really like a ultra adventure. We're not. I mean, we don't offer like, you know, camping on the ice, or we don't have a helicopter on the ship or the helicopter tours. Some of them are almost like more into luxury than adventure per se. And we're a combination of both. Like we actually like to use the word elegant or boutique, just because we don't want people thinking if it's luxury, it's not adventure. Because it really is both. You know, it's all the luxury, the touches of luxury that you want. You know, after being out on the ice and walking and, you know, doing the expedition, that you come back and, you know, your nice cocktail there, nice, you know, warm towel for your hands. You know, they'll have your drink waiting for you, whatever it is. So, and the ship also is appointed with luxury. The space ratio, it's very large. I think it's 73, which is pretty high. You know, it's comparable to like Silver Sea, something like that. So, but we are, you know, it's not just sit around and look at the ice. I mean, we're getting you on the ground and, you know, doing expeditions or shore excursions.
So give us some extra confidence, right? So Swan Hellenic is, as a brand, obviously has a long history. You guys acquired it some time ago, revived the brand. Give us a little bit of history of your company. You know, why should we trust that? You know, that you guys are going to deliver on the expectations that you're setting for clients. Obviously, seeing one of your ships, you know, be ready and out of shipyard early, it's a great thing. I mean, usually we get to see cruise lines suspending maiden voyages because their ship is not ready. So
Right.
happy to see that that's not your case. You know, but give us a little bit more of the story of the company itself.
So basically there was the ships that came out. So our CEO, his name is Andrea Zito, and he has a history. He actually worked for many years for Silver Sea and also in V Ships. And V Ships it's a company that runs operations on board ships. So for example, like V Ships used to run Silver Sea cruises. So, I mean, he's got a 30-year history in that aspect. A lot of the team members have been on for, you know, quite a long time in various other luxury roles, including even executive chef came from. He had a background with Scenic and Sea Dream and Seaborn, and he came over to us. So we're really attracting, talent. I think that really comes from the CEO, Andrea Zito, because they're all people who have worked with him in some aspect in his past life, or his past career, sorry. So, and then our expedition leader, Pierre Thomas, he was 26 years. He's been an expedition leader with various cruise lines. So, I mean, between all of us, there's a huge amount of history. I will tell you, I can share a link on the chat here, and I'm going to do that. There are not a lot of people have posted on Cruise Critic, but the ones that have, they're all 5-star reviews, and I think you'll see the feedback that, how great the expedition team was, and how personable that the people are on board. They just had an amazing time. And it was an interesting mix too that we had on board, because we are sourcing for Antarctica. It's like 70% of it is coming from the North American market. And then we have some Europeans, UK, Germany. There was a couple people that came from Spain on there. And in the Arctic, it's going to be, of course, a little bit more European crowd, just because that's more kind of a local market. But the feedback was just that, it's such great interactions between the guests and between the crew members and the expedition team. Like, they're actually, they're staying in touch with each other. It's really nice. It's just very personalized. So
Are you
but if you read, so I put the review, the link, I don't know if you can see that, the link for the reviews in the chat. Yeah. And so you can just read them. I mean, there's only 4 of them, but it you kind of, it has the same theme about them. So.
And just one more question about the company. Obviously, you've been operating already for quite some time, right? Like, this is not the Antarctica season was your first season, but you've been operating since last year, correct?
Yes. I mean, yes, we've been, I mean, the ship just came out, but yes, we've been behind the scenes.
And talk to us about the strength of the company behind it. So, usually one of the things that our clients want to feel sure of is, all right, I'm going to give this company, my money, right? My deposit.
Yeah.
How do I know that this company is solid? Give us a little bit.
Well, I don't think it's something, I know that there has been, like, other cruise line, there has been some things going on through COVID, some things that have happened, but, especially if someone's paying with a credit card, I mean, you're pretty much covered. I mean, our banking is done in Cyprus. Our company headquartered in Cyprus. The ships are commissioned from Malta, registered in Malta.
You own the ships?
Yes.
You own the ships. Okay.
Yes.
The ships were built by you guys?
It's called the Helsinki shipyard, and they actually they build quite a few of these expedition ships. So if you look it up, the Helsinki shipyard, obviously in Helsinki.
Okay. All right, good. So here's a question. Is Swan Hellenic going to offer airfare options to guests in the near future, or will guests need to purchase air independently or to luxury cruise connections?
So we will do your air for sure. It's just an additional cost. I mean, and it's not like we have a set, it's X amount to go from this gateway or X amount to go on this gateway. It's really based on, the fares that are out there. We do work with a consolidator, which sometimes can find some, inexpensive airfares, but like for those, the ports that we leave from, there's pretty good airlift, and where there's not, that's, Ushuaia and Kangerlussuaq, that's where we include the flights.
Okay, good. So just so you all know, Luxury Cruise Connections does have a strong relationships with airlines because of our relationship with Forest Travel, which is mainly a large corporate agency with a lot of relationship with the airlines. So because of that relationship, we're able to provide really good airfare also for our guests traveling on any cruise line. So, all right. All right. Let's see if we have any more questions. What other questions are out there? What else do we want to know? What else do we want to know about Swan? Let me hear you. Brian, any questions, anything else that you feel we're missing in this presentation? What did you think about it?
Oh, love the idea of Swan. Great product. I think you answered all the questions I had, but honestly. So good job.
Excellent. What about you, Norma? Norma, what do you how did you feel about this presentation? Did you like it? Do you have any questions? Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Unmute yourself one more time.
No, I don't. I just wanted to see what it was all about. I've never done one of these, but I've done Silver Seas. Last September, we went to Alaska.
Okay.
So yeah, I like all your ships.
So you're Norma, you've been obviously Silver Sea, Alaska. You know, obviously you're looking for small luxurious ships. Do you think this?
Yes.
Do you think this one Hellenic ship would meet your expectations in terms of size and luxury?
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially but because we just have grandbabies, we were on the Mardi Gras in March. So.
Oh wow! You went from Silver Sea, Alaska to Carnival Mardi Gras?
Yeah, exactly. Only because we did the very first Mardi Gras 42 years ago. So you kind of have to do it. You know, it was just.
For historic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if the kids would have enjoyed Silver Sea as much as the Mardi Gras, right? I mean,
well, no.
you gotta take a sacrifice.
They were just 3 years old and 18 months. So no.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, no, it's a great presentation. Thank you. I'm glad I.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to get you on board one day.
We're going on the Regent in October.
Okay.
Okay. And let me ask you this, Norma. Have you ever been to Iceland?
Nope.
Is that in your bucket list?
Not sure. It's so cold.
Actually, believe it or not, if you go in the summer months, Iceland is not that cold. Not as much as you think.
I know. I tend to believe you because Alaska wasn't cold. Alaska was just like Seattle weather. You know, and I'm from Toronto, so.
Yeah, and actually, the scenery in Iceland during the summer is probably the most amazing scenery you'll ever. It's like a different world, and it's so green. You know, people think that they're going to Iceland and they're just going to see snow. And when during the summer, there's in certain parts of Iceland, but during the summer, Iceland is so green and so blue, and it's just an amazing, literally out of this world experience.
Oh, I know. I'd love to do it. Not this year because there's too much on my list, but.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
But,
Lori, I
Yes.
have a question for you. I'm sorry I was late. I was on with a client. But I have a client that's interested in Antarctica.
Is that Laura?
Yes,
It is
it
Laura.
is.
Hello.
And I'd like to talk to you after because he's looking for something particular, and I think you would fit in great with him.
Okay.
You know, I want to talk to you after.
Okay.
But anyway, I wanted to apologize because I was late, but I was talking to a client.
I wanna let Mary has a question. Let me see if I can find you here and I can put you on the spot, Mary. Hold on one second. Mary is asking us if the here we go. Hold on a second. Mary, you want to know if all of the Vega itineraries are 70% off?
Right, that are on the website. I was on the website, and there's quite a few cruises out there with the Vega that go up to the end of the year. And are those the ones that are 70% off, or is that something that maybe send us?
The price on the website reflects the 70% off of brochure fares.
So
whatever price is there, but it doesn't reflect the additional saving.
It doesn't reflect the 5%. So remember, any booking that we make through Luxury Cruise Connections in the next 2 weeks, you're going to get an additional 5% on top of the price that you see on the website, which already reflects that 70% off. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. You can see me now. Here I am.
There you go. Hold on.
Yeah, I did check your reviews. Once I signed up for this, I did go on to Cruise Critic and I saw all those 4 reviews that were very well done. And I think the people, they were 5 stars and they said some very nice things.
Yeah.
That's good. Have you ever been on an expedition cruise?
Yes, I was on Silver Sea from Ushuaia, stops in the Falklands, South Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And then, Tristan da Cunha and on to Cape Town. And
Oh, wow.
the person that mentioned about, I was expecting South Georgia to be really cold, but it wasn't really cold. I mean, there were many a night that you could eat outside on the deck at the grill area.
Right.
So it's not freezing cold.
That's good. What do you think about, I mean, obviously haven't been in Silver Sea in an expedition cruise with Silver Sea. What do you think about when you see these pictures on Swan? How do you compare it?
Well, I think it compares very well. I mean, I'm willing to try one of them soon. It's a question of dates. I've booked 2 things with Javier. And you get into the point where, you know, how far out do you book? So I had a cancellation for next year with Crystal. I've been on probably Crystal the most, and I was to go from Brisbane to Singapore next March, but that's kaput.
Yeah. Well,
So,
hopefully we can find replacement itineraries for you. I mean, we certainly are here for you. So that's good. I mean, you know, if there's any other question that might come up later, Mary, you know, I mean, we have access to Lori at any time. So, you know, can always reach out to Javier. Javier will reach out to Lori and we'll get any particular question answered for you. We're here for you, okay?
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So we're gonna, I want to be respectful of everybody's time and I want to be respectful of Lori's time as well. So I want everybody to know that our contact information is in the chat. Denise put it there. Most of you, if you already have obviously a relationship with one of our advisors here at Luxury Cruise Connections, you reach out to them directly and they'll be happy to take care of any question or look up any pricing for you, look at any itinerary options for you. And obviously, it'd be a great opportunity to take advantage of this extra 5% that Swan Hellenic is extending exclusively to Luxury Cruise Connections. We are particularly we're definitely particularly committed to making sure we make your travel experience and your cruise planning experience, you know, a perfect one. So we love the opportunity to obviously service you, and you know, if we're doing this presentation with Loris, because you know we've had an opportunity to really sit down with Swan, understand their company, understand where they're coming from. I had an opportunity to sit with a few of the executives at Swan and really dive deep into the company to make sure is a brand that we are not just comfortable partnering up with, but that we know that our clients are going to enjoy and have an amazing experience with. So that's why we're doing this, and we hope that you give Swan Hellenic an opportunity to try their brand and tell your friends, because I think they're going to be a really strong player in the expedition market, and we look forward and definitely rooting for a lot of success for Swan Hellenic, because I think they're onto something special.
Thank you, Carlos. Well, thank you, Carlos and team, and everyone who joined today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Take care.
Hope to see you on. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
And put on a jacket back.
Steve, leave her alone, Steve.
Roger's sticking up for me. There we go. Well, hopefully see you guys soon in
That'd be
person.
great.
All right.
Lori.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
Lori, you want to call me? Okay, she'll call me. All right.
Thank you, Lori.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.